We have to prepare our clip art for our film, and don't forget we are making a puppet animation, so we're using clip art. There are a lot of great and inexpensive clip art collections you can find in your favorite computer store. The clip art I'm using basically costs $29 for like thousands and thousands of images, and I believe the company that produced it is called Hemera. Let me just take a quick look here and see what it's called. It's Hemera Photo Clip Art for Mac OS X, and I'm pretty sure they have it for Windows as well. So definitely check that out. What we're going to do is we're going to take our dinosaur, and as you see here, this is a pinata kind of guy, and this is going to be God Lizard, and he's going to attack our city here. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare him for animation. As you see here, he's pretty much just an image, but we need to break this apart so we can then get rid of this gray background. So to do that, we're going to go to Modify, Break Apart, and don't forget you have to have the image selected first. So break apart, and as you see what happens, we now have everything turned into this pixelization kind of thing. So if you click on the picture, you get one piece. So we need to break this out of here. We're going to do that with the lasso tool. So you're going to click the lasso tool, and then you're going to grab the magic wand tool, and then let me see what the preferences are. We have the threshold set to 10 pixels, which means when we click on the gray area, it's going to click gray and gray only. If this number is higher, it's going to click gray, dark gray, light gray, and all kinds of gray. So you have to experiment with this number to get a number that's going to work for you. So in this case, I think 10 should do it. I'm going to go ahead now with the magic wand here and click on the gray. And as you see here, we grabbed pretty much all of the gray and left the lizard alone. So I'm going to go ahead and press delete on the keyboard. And now I want to get the gray inside of this loop here and do the same thing. So he is now ready to be broken into other parts for animation. So I can move him around now, and now he's separate from the background. We can also now color our background, and we'll be able to see that we did do a good job getting rid of that gray. And don't worry about this fuzziness right now, because that's not really important for this animation. I'm going to zoom in, and I want to be able to open and close his mouth. So we're going to basically do a little surgery on him. I'm going to cut his head. And what I want to do is grab the lasso here. I'm going to turn this off and go back to our lasso and turn off the magic wand. And I want to basically just draw, and I want to click and drag like this to separate his face. So we're going to go like this, and we're going to continue around. And since we already got rid of all that gray, we can just be very general about this, except for the teeth, because his mouth is going to close. So we're going to go ahead and grab this part, and now I can move it apart from his face like this. I can also now use the magic wand tool, the lasso, and now get rid of this in here. So if we want to, we can turn this off and just draw a selection and press delete to get rid of that. We can also now draw a marquee around the top part of his head and then turn this into its own symbol or group. So I'm going to group this, and as you see, when I put it back on his head and we free transform it later on, we can animate his head. But don't forget, we also need to do one more thing. We need to move this pivot point and put it right about here so we can animate it. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn this into a symbol. Let's go to Modify, Convert to Symbol, and let's just call this Head. And we'll call it Top, so we know which piece is what. Click OK. And now with the free transform tool selected, we can click and drag this pivot point down like so. And then when we try to rotate this, when we try to animate it, look at this. Now he can do his roar. Okay, now his mouth closed. So this is basically how you start to make your puppets. You just have to cut pieces off and then refill them. We can also cut his hand off here. Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and just free transform this after we cut it off and put the pivot point where it belongs and all that other stuff here. So we're going to go ahead and modify this. We're going to call this Paw. And we're going to grab our free transform tool, click and drag to now have control over his hand. So we can have him swipe at planes and that kind of stuff. I'm also going to zoom out a little bit, press Command or Control 3 on the keyboard. I'm going to move this over, I'm going to move his head over, and now I just want to grab any parts that don't belong and then grab his whole body, and we're going to also turn this into a symbol. We're just going to call this Body. And now God Lizard is ready for animation. Keep Keep in mind that we also have to make sure that each of these parts of his body are on a separate layer because we have to have each animatable piece separate. Now God's lizard is ready to go.